It's true, you're hate preachers. Hate preachers. You have to be hate preachers to say that Muslims are there to show off. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. You have to be really low to say that to me. No, apologize for that. Apologize for that. Apologize for that. She said that we were there to show off. Helping people, helping victims. We were there to show off to who? You? You people? Show off to you, hate preachers? Come on. Goodness to you. I don't need to prove. Goodness to you. I don't need
to my question. How many days and how many hours have you been to see the victims and then served in the community?
You don't believe me. No, I can tell from your eyes you don't believe me. You're talking with each other with eyes. She rolled her eyes. When I said I was there, she rolled her eyes.
I am curious to know how many bags of the cloth you separated.
No, I'm a bad person. Wait.
I'm curious to know how many dishes you've
Wait, just watch.
Of course, isn't that amazing? Muslims turns up to the where the victims are with their camera. Put on YouTube.
You must be really low to do that. You must be really low to say that. You have to be very, very low to say that.
I'm amazed with that because your camera crew is just around you.
You have to be very low to say that.
Can you show me some examples of vehicular jihad?
Sadly I can, Jay. Sadly I can. So, in July 14th, 2016, which was last year, 86 people were murdered in... 86 people were murdered in Nice. This is in France last year. 86 people were murdered. 434 people were badly injured. This was by a Tunisian Muslim.
Now remember, that's the first one. We're calling it jihad. We don't believe you. We're calling it jihad.
Yeah, indeed.
Number two. This is not jihad. I don't ask you to agree with me. This is a terrorist incident. You will see why we're calling it jihad.
The second incident was November the 28th, 2016.
Hitler was a Muslim.
Ohio State at a car attack. 13 wounded. By a Somali Muslim, by a man who's called Abdul Razak. That's right.
5 people he murdered. Okay?
Yep.
Now we get to the last one. This just happened 2 days ago.
That's a very, very low thing to say that. It's like I see good people there, helping people, and I say they are there to show off. That's why I didn't want to tell you how long I was there. Because you're such a low person to say something like that to me. You know, you have to be very low to say that to me, that I was there to show off. I wasn't. No, she said that. She just said that Muslims are there with cameras so that they can show off. This is a very low thing to say. Oh my God. This is why I call you hate preachers. You are nothing but hate preachers.
Thank you, Ramadan. Thank you for Ramadan.
And it's not about Christian, Muslim. I'm Muslim. I don't look typically Muslim. I'm Muslim. But everyone's like this. It's a family. It's not about that. But the government is trying to segregate, you know, all the stories, all the newspapers, depending on what newspaper you read. It's not about that. These are people's lives. These are families. My children's teacher is missing with her family.
And they just pushed past and barred past the police, run to the tower block and started screaming at people and trying to help them. They ran into the building. If it wasn't for all these young Muslim boys round here helping us, coming from mosque, people would have dead. Enough more people would have dead. Enough more people. They want to talk about them when they do wrong and all these kind of things. When they're doing bad, when they're doing good, they were the first people with bags of water giving to people, helping people, running and telling people.
From other parts of London, from all of London.
Elaborate Grove.
All of London.
All over.
All of London, not just from our estate.
The whole of Latimer Road, down by Edward Woods, all over came out with water. We don't care what people are. We love them all the same. We all mix together. But thank you, Ramadan. Thank you for Ramadan.
Okay, so
you did your best. I just added that I will say that those Muslims who tried to rescue the people in the tower, that literally some of them they didn't come down. Literally, some youngsters they went all the way up to the highest floor, and they never come down. Which means they died trying saving the others. So you could see they ignored even the signs on the inside the building. Don't leave your house and all that. They were knocking on the doors, telling the people to leave to save their lives. So this is the true image about Islam, saving the life of the people. Because Allah said in the Quran, whoever saved one single life, he just like saved the whole of humanity. And that's what Islam is about. And we thank you all.
And this is why we are confronting these people, these hate preachers, because they highlight all the bads. Even though they are marginal in our community, and they ignore all the good, which is the norm, right? There are people like them. There are people like them who come every single week in the park to spread hate against Muslims. Because when some idiot goes and does an atrocity, they come out with the Qurans and read the verses out of context, verses that were revealed about war in the time of the Prophet, okay, verses that apply to the situations of war. They read them randomly and say, oh, this guy did this because of this verse. But when Muslims in their thousands come out, when they come out and do good deeds, good work, charity, like Grenfell Tower, when it burnt, there was a non-Muslim woman shouting and screaming, saying, if it wasn't for these young Muslim men, a lot more people would have died, because these young men who were awake at the time because of Ramadan, they were going around knocking doors and waking people up, get out, the tower is on fire, and they left the building and they saved their lives. So when Muslims do things like that, wait, when Muslims go and do charity in places like Grenfell Tower, there were hundreds of Muslims who came out. These people, their Qurans go missing, their leaflets go missing, and they go missing. They have nothing to say.
Let's talk to Latifa Begum, who's joined me. She works for Muslim Aid. Hello. Thank you so much for taking time out and speaking to me. I know there's a lot of you from Muslim Aid working at this centre here. What help are you able to provide today?
Well, we are actually very much trying to support those who have been affected in the fire since this morning. I've been here since 7 a.m. Trying really to support those individuals who have lost and are waiting for news from their loved ones. We at Muslim Aid are providing shelter and supporting the local services in providing that, raising funds to support the long-term rehabilitation and the long-term housing needs of these families that are victims that have been affected. We're providing blankets as well as food and working with the local mosques and churches and synagogues to provide iftar. Many Muslim families have been affected in this fire tragically as well in this predominantly large Arab community. We're here standing in solidarity, and we're here to serve them as best as we can.
And there will be people who've lost their homes, lost everything. And I know you've already raised a huge amount of money to try to help people.
Yes, so the British Muslim community itself has already raised over £30,000 within a matter of a few hours of this tragedy. We expect many more donations to still be coming in. We've seen an outpour of generosity and support and love from the British Muslim community and generally the British community, which is fantastic. We've seen donations come in. People are bringing clothes, people are bringing food, people are bringing medication and hygiene kits, all to all the various evacuation sites. There were 250 people in that tower, so we're still yet to hear about, unfortunately, the scale of the loss. But we're here for as many days as the community need us. At Muslim Aid, we're going to be supporting along with the other British Muslim charities.
And you're providing such fantastic practical support, and that is what people need right here and now.
Just to add something, just because I was listening to the conversation, sorry, I just wanted to just add one more point. What that woman said was at the height of disgusting behaviour. First of all, we're locals to that particular tower anyways. We live literally minutes away by a car from the tower.
It's my next door.
For him, it's literally like next door neighbours. So when you see people, young people, this was witnessed. I spoke to some eyewitness eyewitnesses there that were basically, they witnessed the most unbelievable of things. Literally, one eyewitness told me that he saw basically that there was another person that threw their child out of the building, and another guy went and grabbed the child. Basically, he saved the child's life, the little baby, because they were throwing them out of the buildings and stuff like that. And for her to say that this is done to show off, that we've come out to do this kind of thing to show off, I think it's disgusting. I mean, how can that be tolerated by any community? Like here as Muslims, to be honest with you, when Muslims, other Muslims, here in Speaker's Corner or otherwise, come out with preposterous statements, we are always pressured to condemn it. Now, to be honest with you, when you have hate preachers like the woman that was sitting here, talking to basically some people that were very close to the building, had eyewitness, they were seeing what was happening, and they were saying, and she's saying at the same time that actually no, you're doing this to show off. How could the pressure not be put on her?
That's disgusting.
How could Christian organizations not condemn that? How could it be that these guys are not on the front page newspapers? How could it be that this is accepted within the discourse in the United Kingdom?
Yes.
How could it be that in the United Kingdom, people like this can get away with saying things like that? I mean, how disgusting that is. And to be honest with you, I've never seen anything like this, really. I've been in this country all my life. I've never seen the hate for Islam and Muslims kind of graduate to this kind of level. It's never graduated to this level before, where you're really kind of blind to everything good that someone in front of you could do, even if it's risking their lives as a child or a young person, like was the case in Greenwich, Grenfell, was it Grenfell? Grenfell, yeah. And I completely, they'll look with a microscope of what you do in terms of violence. What kind of bias is this anyways? What kind of bias is this anyways? Is this a way to analyze a community? Is this the way to do justice to a sociological experiment of Muslims in the United Kingdom or otherwise in the West? This is disgusting behavior.
And when you correct them, when you tell them that people actually start to hate you because of your hypocrisy and your inconsistency when you deal with Muslims, and the response was, oh yeah, Jesus said that you'll be hated. Jesus said when you will speak the truth, you'll be hated. But you're not speaking the truth. You are being hated for being hypocrites.
I am bothered by the fact that I'm seeing more and more from people that I respect, from Christians. I see more and more this simplistic willingness to throw up a horrible picture from Sweden or whatever else and just simply say, Islam again. How would you like it if during the wars in the Balkans, Christians versus Muslims, you showed some terrible thing that were done by quote-unquote Christian forces? Christianity again. The first thought across your mind is, don't blame me for that. My theology doesn't provide a basis for wiping out a village or this kind of thing. But there are a lot of Christians that are just simply, they're doing what I've decried over and over again, and that is just throw them all in the same bucket and just call it Islam.
It's not normal every day to wake up and all you hear all day about is how your religion is terrible and how you're a suspect and how you're a cancer and how all this other stuff. When you're young and really impressionable, this stuff is gonna start pressing in on you. You have to be aware this is real stress, and you have to be strong in your faith. And you can't listen to people make bad arguments. You have to know how to identify bad arguments. When someone says all the stuff that's happening in the world today with ISIS and this San Bernardino and all this Belgium, this is because of the Quran or because of the Hadiths or because of Islam. People in Iraq and Syria were reading the Quran for 1400 years. And they're reading Hadiths for 1400 years. And ISIS only started in 2013. And it wasn't started by the Quran, it was started by the US-led invasion of Iraq and the destruction of all the institutions and economy and government of that country. It's not about the religion of Islam, it's not about the scriptures of Islam. Because there's 1.6 billion Muslims in the world, And even if you take the largest number of all the Taliban and all of Boko Haram and all of ISIS and all these groups, and you add all this together and you divide that by 1.6 billion Muslims, you know the number you get? I calculated 0.006%. 0.006%. Absolutely statistically insignificant. This is the best, single best argument against what you constantly come across. This idea that somehow your religion, something in its original foundational scriptures, is violent, and like a virus, it's going to spread through the Muslim community. It's just not true.